Hey, I'm Janetta Stringfellow, the Chief Development Officer at PRX, and this episode of Ear Hustle contains language that may not be appropriate for all listeners. Discretion is advised.
It'll be the second golf cart, the six-seater.
Erlon, this golf cart routine is getting kind of familiar.
Do you think if we didn't have a golf course, you would be able to walk to where we're going?
No, because this prison is so spread out, Erlon. What would you call it? I wouldn't call it a campus. It's like a
whole industrial complex.
With a bunch of what feels like warehouses.
This is our third trip to CCWF, which stands for the Central California Women's Facility. And once we go through all those gates, bend those corners, we end up at the media center.
Yes, our place. I hope they're not all there waiting for us. I hate that feeling.
The purpose of this particular trip was to meet moms and daughters who are incarcerated together.
And originally, we thought this was going to be part of our Mother's Day episode, which came out earlier in the season. But this trip to CCWF ended up being not quite what we expected.
Yeah, I think this episode really ended up being about the daughters.
And Erlon, it's also our final episode of season 13.
Yes. I'm Erlon Woods.
I'm Nigel Poor, and this is Ear Hustle from PRX's Radiotopia. So before you sign this, I'll explain the process to you. We're working on a story about relationships between mothers and daughters.
We sat down, and two women came and joined us. It was a lady in her 60s.
And her daughter, a woman probably in her 40s.
My name is Rosa, and I've been in CCWF since 2012.
My name is Miss Lee, and I've been in CCWF December 12.
Did you come at the same time? We came together?
We are co-defendants.
Okay. Rosa, the daughter, what would you say? I mean, she seemed very quiet and reserved. She had on these sensible wire-rimmed glasses. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail. She just kind of struck me as no nonsense, maybe?
Right.
But Miss Lee?
Well, Miss Lee, she was kind of bubbly, always smiling.
Yep.
And it just seemed like she had a way of doing things.
Yeah, I mean, like can kind of command a room in a way. Like you want to pay attention to her. But there was a little underlying bossy boots there.
Okay.
Yeah, but charming.
So you're saying she was a boss?
She was charming. I wouldn't want to cross her. So you go by Miss Lee, and do people respect that? They call you Miss Lee?
Yes. And then when people ask me, what's your name? I say, call me Miss Lee. And then they do it.
Yeah, it's very proper. Were you a teacher?
I was kind of like a tutoring back in Hong Kong.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it gives, I imagine it gives people a feeling of, respect?
Yes.
Yeah. Is respect important to you?
Yes, it is.
My name is Rosa, and actually, I'm a daughter to my mom, and I'm also a mom to my daughter. So I fit both roles.
Rosa and her mom spoke to us on the condition that they not discuss the details of their crime.
But we can say that before they committed their crime, Rosa had a busy, full life, a husband, a job, a young daughter. And as a result of the crime, she lost all of that.
Now, it's just the two of them in prison.
I'm curious, how does the relationship change from being outside to inside?
Actually, I spend a lot more time living in the same room. It's like a tiny space with her in here than I did out there, because out there we lived in different parts of the Bay Area. We all have different homes. So I normally don't even see her outside except maybe once or twice a month. And in here, I see her, I guess, every day.
And have you been in prison before, or is this your first time?
This is the real first time.
And may I ask how old you were when you came to prison?
56?
So you had an established life before you came to prison.
Yes.
What were some of the biggest adjustments for you coming here?
I live in a crowded environment I really don't like, because all the reason that I migrate from Hong Kong to here is to avoid crowding. And right here is another crowding.
Yeah.
Eight-man cell in a room, small, tiny room, one bathroom, one shower, and two sinks. Everyday activity like brush the teeth, shower, we have to be crowded together. Even the noise is a pollution.
What is it like to have a mom as a mom and a co-defendant?
Well, let's see. I don't know how. Okay, my case, I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit. My case has to do with it's domestic. So no, I don't like the fact that she got dragged into all this. It creates a lot of frustration.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that?
My thought is, she really don't want me to drag into that situation. And as far as I am as far as this mother can be close to this daughter because of this conviction, I feel like I have a relief because I don't have to worry about her to death. If she's by herself, get dropped in this prison, and I would worry to death.
So if you were still on the streets, you'd be worried.
If I am on the street, I would be worried to death. To see her every day in here is not the worst.
Have you learned new things about your daughter since you've been here together?
Sometimes she make a meal, and then I realize, oh, she can cook.
So how would you describe Rosa?
She respects her mother, and there's love between us. And she also has a daughter. She misses her daughter so much.
Yeah.
So I'm so lucky I don't have to miss her that much.
Was it a good thing that both of y'all were sent to the same place?
For me, yes, because I don't have to worry as much. Yeah, because, I mean, there are people that are not so nice in prison. There's some crazy people that do really crazy things around here. So, yeah, for me, it's mostly a safety thing. Makes me feel a little better just knowing she's okay.
What would happen if one of you got out before the other? I mean, is that a possibility?
It's a definite possibility. Can't really imagine what would happen. I just remember the last time she went out to court, she was out at the county jail for resentencing for a few months. And I pretty much broke down. You can, well, yeah, I was crying all the time. So I couldn't stop crying. Sometimes I get embarrassed when I cry in front of other people.
Was you crying that you missed her, or was you crying that you were happy, or both?
Maybe both. I don't know. Just she's not there. I don't know if she's okay or not in county jail. I didn't know what was going on.
Was part of it also that you missed her?
Definitely.
You know, it's really unusual to have a family member that's in the same prison as you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it's a real comfort, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's clear that they draw a lot of strength from each other.
Right.
I wonder if sometimes people are jealous that mothers and daughters get to be together.
Yes, they do, especially when we can speak the second language, and they don't understand. They are very jealous.
We've heard a lot about in women's prisons how a lot of times in the pods they create like a family, like somebody's the mother, somebody's the father. How does that work if there is actually a mother in the pod?
I've seen that dynamic a lot in here. I see a lot of younger people coming in. they want that mother figure in their lives, and they tend to gravitate towards older women that are kind of in charge in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely that going on.
I got a lot of love, like the other daughters. She might be jealous. The other people just come back and say, "Hi, Mom." And I really got a lot of respect and love around here.
Has anyone ever wanted you to be their mom here?
Yes.
And how do you deal with that?
I just give her some love. But just give her some love and say, "You're loved.
Yeah.
You're being loved."
And does Rosa get jealous?
Yes.
What happens?
Not angry, jealous. Just like, "Hey, it's my mom."
I get that. I mean, that's my mom. Back off, right?
Indeed.
So on that note, we said goodbye.
Right.
But first, we had to take a picture. Are you okay with having your pictures taken? What'd you say?
Am I pretty enough?
Gorgeous.
Thank you so much. So I'm ready for the picture.
All right. Let's Before we came out to CCWF, we'd heard that talking to these moms and daughters can be kind of tricky. Not all these relationships are so harmonious as Rosa and Miss Lee. There can be some drama.
And we'll meet one of those mother-daughter combos after the break.
The mic has its own fur.
It's called a dead cat, believe it or not. Yes, it's very
It's a dead cat to stop the air. The air go around it instead of hitting the mic, and you hear just shh. So it kind of stop it. And it's all right. It works.
You want to tell them who you're explaining the basics of field recording to, please?
This is Tina. She's 31 years old. She's a young woman, but she's been in prison for a while. And how long have you been incarcerated?
13 years.
Tina's mom is also incarcerated at CCWF. Like Rosa and Miss Lee, they're co-defendants, so same crime.
But their relationship was really different.
Yeah, I mean, we were told that Tina's mom was going to come for the interview too so that we could talk to them together.
Right.
But the mom was a no-show.
I haven't seen her in about probably over a month,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina and her mom, they used to be housed in the same part of the prison, so they'd see each other quite often. But then Tina decided to make a change and move to a different part of the prison.
Was there something specific that happened where you were like, this is it, I just can't?
I started feeling like I was just, honestly, my mental health was fucked up. Like, it was bad. I just felt like I was being smothered. I felt like I couldn't move forward.
And did you have a conversation with her, or did you just walk away?
I just told the sergeant that I needed a bed move to another yard. I just got up, packed my shit, and put it in a cart and walked up to the program office and said, "I need a bed move."
Wow. Can you describe your mom? What is she like?
I really don't know how to describe her.
How does she treat you?
We had a lot of dysfunction growing up. I'm adopted, She's my stepmom, but she's had me since I was about 5 years old. And 5 of us grew up in a household together, and I was the oldest, so it wasn't, ain't nothing to talk about, I mean, I don't know what to really expect, when you grow up in a situation like that, you sometimes you grow up like detached from everything other than your day-to-day responsibilities.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up. I didn't think about much anything other than today I got to do this, but I can't really put a finger on any of that. So
Tina was this, very interesting combination to me early on. She was super present. She seemed really in touch with how she feels about things, very open. But that openness made me see that there were things that were hard for her to express because she just didn't really have an experience of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like she didn't really understand or have any experience of the positive potential that a family could be. And so for her, that concept was almost like a blank slate.
You know, Tina was really young when she came to prison. She was just 18.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she'd been living her life up until then sounds a bit chaotic.
Yes. And the crime she's in for, I mean, that very much came out of the chaos of that household.
Who ended up bringing who to jail?
So I have 6 other co-defendants. So it was me, my mom, her boyfriend, my best friend, my mom's brother, the mom's brother's friend. So there's 7 of us.
The way Tina's crime went down is Tina and her mom were living in this apartment with Tina's 4 siblings and also a bunch of housemates. When one of those housemates moved out, Tina's mom accused him of stealing a laptop and a PlayStation. A group of them decided to confront the guy. They lured him to the house and beat him up really bad. Tina and her mom were a part of that. Then 2 of the other housemates drove him away and killed him. And what was y'all sentenced to?
I'm Elwa. Me, my mom, and my other co-defendant, we all got Elwa.
Life without the possibility of parole. I mean, Earlonne, her life had hardly started.
I was 18 at the time, so in my head, I was like, well, this is the crew. This is what we're doing. So this is what we're doing. But looking back now, I asked myself, would you do that on your own? No. But you know, I partook, I did what I did, but I wouldn't have initiated no mess like that.
Have you ever talked to her about that feeling of that you got pulled into something?
I used to hold it back. Oh, I don't want to disrespect my mom. I don't want to hurt her feelings, or I don't want the population to feel like I'm just ungrateful and disrespectful. I try to express to her, like, I'm not trying to point the finger. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm telling you where I'm coming from and why we can't progress in our relationship.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not minimizing what I did. I just would want her to acknowledge those few things that got me this sentence.
Yeah.
Just say it for what it is. It's all right. When I mention it, it turns into an argument and a great debate. I'm like, this person is probably never going to accept what it is that I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? This person is probably never going to acknowledge me or give me what it is that I need. So I need to do it for myself.
If she was here right now, how do you think she would be acting?
She would probably be a little agitated at the things that I'm saying, or she might try to act like, oh, this is my daughter, I love her, you know?
Yeah.
But we kind of are like detached from each other. I used to be a cutter, you know, so I used to have these bad suicide attempts just trying to get away. Being here in prison, when you feel that, you just got to do what's best for yourself no matter what.
Right.
And I'm not the person that wants to sit around arguing all day, every day, or having to explain the same thing over and over. I'll just move on.
Yeah. It can be hard to be the person that's doing the work and that moves forward, because parents or whatever, family members, even if they've done awful things, there's still part of you that wants to love them and wants to be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But at some point you can't do it. But that's a really hard decision to make, I think.
Yeah.
But why do you think that is? Like, even when someone is horrible or treated you badly, if it's a parent, you want them to love you.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think that comes from?
For me personally, me wanting her acceptance comes from the fact that, like I said, I'm adopted, you know? So it's kind of like, this is what I got. So if this is what I got, I would want it to work. I guess wanting to prove myself, like, you know, I'm worthy, you know?
A lot of times when people have parents that were not great parents, they often say they did the best they could. What do you think about that when someone says that?
It's like a Band-Aid. It's an excuse, you know?
That's why I often feel like it's letting people off the hook. Like, okay, they did the best they could, but why couldn't they have worked a little bit harder?
Yeah.
Hold on. We have.
I got Odom here. Did you guys need her too?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we need a few more minutes. Do you mind? Can you?
A couple more minutes?
So while we were talking to Tina, this other incarcerated woman showed up to be interviewed, and she told us that she only had a few minutes to talk before she had a dental appointment.
And we didn't want to rush Tina out of the room, so we were kind of scrambling. Like, what do we do here? I don't know what time is it.
And I didn't receive a ticket.
Oh,
They just let her know right now.
Yeah.
are you able to come back after the duck?
Sure.
Do you think you'll be able to talk
Sure.
after the dental?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Tina Marie.
That might be it.
So this woman says from the door, "Hello, Tina Marie," and Earlonne, it was really confusing.
Yeah, I thought I just met the woman in prison that can sing like the late Tina Marie. Hold on. You sing like Tina Marie? That's what's up?
No, that's my name.
Okay, I'm just checking. Tina Marie,
Yeah.
get in.
Do you know that person? Obviously.
That's my
Tina
mother.
Marie, no, that was a white.
That's your mother?
That's my mother.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did not occur to us that this woman was Tina's mom.
It was so confusing.
2 reasons. For one, she was white, and Tina's black.
But plus, Tina had like zero reaction when this woman showed up. So there was nothing to suggest that there was a
Right.
close emotional or even like no close emotional relationship.
I didn't see anything.
That was blank.
You think you could go see if she's still there?
So our producer ran after Tina's mom to see if she'd come back.
Are you okay with this if she comes in?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was your mom.
Can you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
I'm Ryan Odom, Tina Odom's mom.
So we're doing a story about relationships between daughters and moms.
Okay.
So we were just curious about your relationship. This was a very strange situation. It's like we had to pivot so fast. I didn't even know where to begin.
Yeah, I mean, shit, we had to think on our feet.
What is it like here?
It sucks. Yep.
And how? And do you try to maintain a relationship?
It's been hard.
Looking like a. Can you explain that?
Well, when she first got here, it was actually a week before Mother's Day when she came over the wall. She got to D yard. I was on C yard. So I had her brought over to my yard, Charlie yard, on Mother's Day. And then she ended up moving to another yard, to Bravo yard. We haven't been on the same yard since about the end of 2015, I believe. So it's been, for me, it's been more difficult, I believe. But she's younger, so she needed to probably like spread her wings and do what she needed to do for her because she was young.
And what does it mean to you to be a mom?
It's as far as,
Well, like, what is the responsibility of being a mom? What is the,
well, she's my oldest out of 5. And it hasn't been easy at all because our relationship's gone downhill. Sorry.
You don't have any very nice
Sorry.
tissues. Sorry.
We never do in
Like the
here.
loudest, roughest tissues in the world.
Sandpaper for you.
Yeah, right.
Nige, we got to start bringing proper Kleenex in on these interviews.
Totally. How do we not know that by now? I mean, it's embarrassing.
So it's been hard. From my aspect, anyway.
And you have LWAP as well, right?
Yes.
And what is it like serving an LWAP sentence?
So when I first got here, I was good to go. I want to say within the first 3 years, I lost hope, went through a really bad depression where I literally only got out of bed for meds, shower, and chow. And I went through that for about 2.5, 3 years.
And what is it like to have a daughter here with the same
It sucks.
sentence?
It sucks. It really sucks. And you have somebody here that's close to you that you've raised since they were, baby. It's very difficult.
So the whole time her mom was talking, Erlon, I was kind of preoccupied. I was like really worried about Tina. So worried, I was even afraid to look over at her.
Yeah, I mean, I saw her. Her arms were crossed over her chest. She was just closed off.
Well, I know she's mad at me right now.
I'm not mad. I'm just over it. I'm over it. It's bullshit. It's the same shit. I'm just. It is what it is. We're just here. So what's there to be mad about?
And that's kind of her mentality as of late.
That's not my mentality as of late. It's just I'm not a kid no more. You don't know me. I'm not that same person. I'm not. You can't control me or puppeteer me. Like, I have my own mindset, and that's why I wanted to move away in the first place, because I needed to make sure that I could grow and have my own mindset, so I'm not in a situation that I was when I was 18, trying to find a way and fall into someone else's footsteps or fall behind somebody I think I love. I need to be able to stand my own ground and have my own mind no matter what. There's nothing wrong with my mentality. I grew up with everybody telling me something was wrong with me. My mind ain't right, all this and all that, and it wasn't right because of everything that we were enduring. That's why it wasn't right.
And I didn't try?
I'm not saying you didn't try.
Exactly. Parenting doesn't come with a manual, Tina Marie.
I didn't say it did.
And I had 5 of you by myself.
We acknowledge that.
Okay. And I did the best I could by myself. And I'm never going to sit here and say I was perfect, ever, because I'm not. And I'm still not to this day. And I'm never going to sit here and say you didn't need to spread your wings like I just got done saying. And I understand that. And especially hearing you say that you do need to be here. You're an adult.
You just literally sat here and said,
That's your mentality?
Yeah, that seems to be her mentality nowadays.
Well, because of what you said about, like, it's over or whatever you just said. I'm not sure your exact words because I don't want to try to quote you because I don't want to be wrong about it. But this is why I tried to have gotten us help, because we haven't had a chance to communicate. This is like the first time we've had a chance to sit down. I don't know how she feels.
You don't know how she feels?
I mean, I do right now what she's saying, but other than that, throughout the years.
Do you want to know?
Yeah, of course I want to know. I've raised her.
It's the same thing. The acknowledgement. Like, I wouldn't have gone out and just committed no crime like this. I wouldn't have gone out and just did no stupid ass shit like this. So, I mean, like, what? And then you sit here and you I don't know her mentality. I've been telling you over the years, over and over, the same exact things over and over. And I just got done sitting right here in this room with these people saying, you know what? I need to just accept myself and get the fuck on with myself. That way maybe I can spread my wings even more, because I'm never going to get that acknowledgement. Whatever it is that I'm looking for, obviously you can't give it.
Nobody's ever going to but yourself. I had to give it to myself because my mama sure couldn't.
Yeah, but
nobody's going to be able to but you.
But your mom didn't put you in prison either.
Okay, and I didn't put you here. Our situation put us here.
Erlon, at this point, I mean, my stomach was hurting, my hands were sweating. I just felt like we were so out of our depth, and I was worried, like, are we harming these people? It was,
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation like that before.
It was one of them situations where it seemed like they were talking past one another, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think Ryan was hearing what her daughter was asking for, you know?
But it was also like, what is all this stuff that's coming up for them? Like, you know, like what responsibility are we supposed to take in a situation like this? I was really worried about the emotional fallout.
Right.
And we were going to go home, and they weren't.
Right. I remember you and I were just kind of wondering, like, what do we do here?
Exactly.
Then our producer, Amy, stepped in with an idea.
You know, Tina was talking to us about sort of what, Tina, tell me if this is okay to say, but she was talking about what she wishes she could hear, and it seemed like it was actually something fairly simple and straightforward. Maybe not, but I wondered if Nigel and Erlon could sort of say some of that back to your mom, if she could hear what they heard you ask for. Would that feel okay?
That's fine.
Are you all right with this?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, what I heard her say is that what she really needs from you is an acknowledgement that you had a part in her getting here, and she feels like you've never been able to say that to her, that you're sorry.
Tina Marie, from this day, from this moment, I apologize for putting you in prison. For any part that I played, for you being here. Any fault that I have for you being in prison, I sincerely apologize with every being in my body. I apologize to you. And I'm still trying to get us out of here. I'm saying it to your face right now. And I apologize. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Is that an apology?
I don't think she's acknowledging it to the point that Tina wants it.
I don't know if it's the same thing when people say, I'm sorry if I made you feel this way. Do you know what I mean? Like it's still putting the majority of the blame on the person who feels that way. You know, it's like somehow I don't know. It's not,
Yeah.
I know I've said that to people before, and I got to rethink that because it's not very helpful. It's not taking responsibility.
It's not saying I did this or I'm responsible for this, you know, but it's halfway there. She's getting there.
And I love you, and I always have, from the moment I laid eyes on you, which I've told you several millions of times.
Do you mind if I say something? Do you mind if I step in? I don't know if you want to say something. Do you think sometimes a relationship just gets to a point where you need to walk away from each other?
I don't want to, because I love her so much, but I know if that's what she needs, I'm never going to stop her from doing what she needs. She's grown. I would hurt, of course, and it would, of course, bother me, but I'm not going to just stand in her way, you know? I've thought that that's what she's wanted a few times, so I have tried to, like, step back and not bother her, but then I'm like, is this what she wants? I don't know, you know? I'm not a mind reader, so then I always try to be the one to reach out. Am I wrong for reaching out? Because do you want me to leave you alone? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, only she can answer it, but it does seem like there might be a time when somebody needs to say, I just can't be in this relationship because it's not healthy for me. And
I would love for us to get counseling. I would love for us to make amends. I would love for us to not dwell on our past so much, because I really feel like past hinders growth. I feel like that a lot. Because if I dwelled on my past before I was, you know, an adult, I would, good Lord. I've had her since I was 18 years old.
yeah, I mean, we're not therapists, and I feel like I'm in a place that I not have, you know, the
Communication is everything, and then knowing how each other feel is everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm fairly certain that, you know, she's standing on her principles of who she is today.
Yeah,
you know,
she's grown a lot.
and you know, a lot of stuff done cleared up in her life, and it seems like she's trying to just move forward.
Yeah.
I don't see her necessarily not wanting a relationship with you, but I just see her as wanting you to acknowledge the woman that she is today.
Yeah. And I've always said she's an awesome young. When she was younger, she's a grown adult now. She's in her 30s, which amazes me. But I used to tell her she was an awesome young lady, beautiful young lady. But she used to not like that so much. But she's an awesome woman now. I do want her to continue to grow, and I don't want to be the hindrance for that, ever. So if whatever she would like, I will definitely honor her decision.
So at this point, Tina was just sitting there in silence. Tina, can you talk, or would you rather not say anything?
You want me to leave it alone for a little while, maybe? Give you some time to think, or do you want to? It's up to you, honey. I'm not going to pressure you.
This just took a whole different path. And this is why I just just get quiet. This just went way like this, like.
Well, this is why I've been wanting to have some type of something with you.
I want to interrupt, but I just want to say that I think it's up to Tina to say right now if she wants you to leave or if she wants to talk. I feel like all of a sudden this just became something she didn't sign up for. And I'd like her to have the power to say yes or no.
It's you guys are doing, mother-daughter relationships. I just see what I see. It just went one way and it just took a turn. The dynamics, it just took a turn. Like I know.
Would you like to end this right now?
I know if you'd like to continue your interview.
This is up to you.
No, it's good. It's good. We're here.
Well, I also feel worried like we just ambushed Tina, and that's not what we were here to do, and I feel really bad about it.
It's good. Like we both could have just been like, or I could have just been like, no, I'm good, I'm cool. It is what it is. Here we are.
I guess being a mother and acknowledging maybe your faults, or her being a daughter and acknowledging, who she is and what she brought to the table, whatever. Respecting her like you respect anybody else, and give her that same latitude, I think.
That's true.
Did you get anything out of that, Tina, from this conversation that feels helpful?
I'm just ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but but can you stay a little bit just on your own? Just so we can say goodbye or are you just done? At that point, it seemed to me there was nothing else to do except turn the recorder off and give them both some privacy.
Right.
And let play out what was going to play out. And so we're going to have to explain what happened since we don't have a recording of it.
So we turned the recorder off. Ryan, she headed off to her dental appointment, and we just hung out for a quick minute and chopped it up.
And remember, we realized that we all had something in common.
Yeah, we were all lefties.
Yes, and we had all been put in special ed because we had learning disabilities.
It's not funny, Nigel.
It's still funny
Serious.
to me.
And excluding me, everybody had bad handwriting.
Okay, well, remember, we're all lefties. So we did that thing where we just all compared our handwriting.
Right.
And Erlan, you're right. Yours isn't so bad.
I've spent a lot of time in prison, Nigel. We learned to write.
Well, Tina and I were a competition for who has the worst handwriting. And so remember, I showed her my trick where if you write backwards, then your handwriting looks awesome. And even you were impressed by my backwards handwriting.
No, definitely. You got that down packed. And I think once you showed that we were all laughing and the mood changed, it got a lot lighter.
Yeah, I mean, it really felt good to see her smiling, and there was just a relief around that.
Right.
But when we started working on the episode, I really wanted to reach out to her again. I mean, the whole team wanted to reach out to her and see how she was doing and if things had changed with her mother. And it was really weighing heavy on me, and we tried.
We definitely tried, but right now there are these strict rules about getting in touch with incarcerated people if you go into those institutions.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we can just call somebody, and it makes it hard. So I'm sure listeners are really curious too. And I hope that we're going to catch up with her, maybe later in the summer?
Maybe as we get ready for the next season.
I hope it's before that. I just want everyone to know we are anxious to know how she's doing, and we will report back for sure.
And I guess we're going to leave season 13 like that.
That's right, because this is the final episode of the season. And I'm going to say, Erlan, I'm going to call this season 13 our adventurous season. We did so many different things. We spent time in the hospice, which is up there with one of my favorite episodes we've ever done.
We did do an episode about a poem.
A whole episode.
That was an experiment.
That was a beautiful one. And I was allowed to dive deeper into my personal interest of the inner life of objects on a couple of episodes.
And we got a chance to surprise each other with our mystery episodes.
And we're definitely doing that again next season. And guess what, Erlan? Yep, I've already started working on mine.
That's bullshit, Nigel.
No,
That's
it's true.
bullshit.
It's true.
That's bullshit. Season 13 was a good one, Nigel. And season 14 launches September 4th.
But definitely check our feed during the summer because we will have some good stuff in there in between seasons while we are working on season 14. So keep an ear open. Or
Stuff
an eye
like
open.
what?
We're going to have some behind the scenes stuff. We might have something from San Quentin. We are going to be talking about, why am I telling everything?
I was just putting you on the stand to see if you start testifying.
Oh my God, I haven't learned anything.
So season 14, be on the lookout for that.
Yes.
My name is Lieutenant Monique Williams. I am currently the Public Information Officer and Administrative Assistant to Warden Anissa Delacruz at Central California Women's Facility. Right now, I am preparing and planning for our CCWF Juneteenth event. Ear Hustle is produced by Nigel Poor, Erlon Woods, and Amy Standen, Bruce Wallace, and Rasan New York Thomas. Shubnam Sigmund is the managing producer. The producing team inside of San Quentin includes Darrell Sadiq Davis, Tony De Trinidad, and Tom Wynn. The inside managing producer is Tony Tafoya. Thanks to Acting Warden Andes and Lieutenant Berry at San Quentin, and Acting Warden Parker, Associate Warden Lewis, and Lieutenant Newborg at the California Institution for Women for their support of the show. And as the Public Information Officer for the Central California Women's Facility, it is my job to approve this episode. This episode was made possible by the Just Trust, building a smaller, more humane engine of justice and safety across the country. For more information about this episode, check out the show notes on Ear Hustle's website, earhustlesq.com. You can also find out more about the show on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Ear Hustle SQ.
Erlon Woods sound designs and engineers the show with help from Fernando Arruda, Harry Colhane, and Darrell Sadiq Davis.
Music for this episode comes from Fernando Arruda, Antoine Williams, Rashid Zinneman, Darrell Sadiq Davis, and me, Erlon Woods.
Want more Ear Hustle? Subscribe to Ear Hustle Plus.
We've got bonus episodes and live chats where we get to chop it up with listeners about the show. You can subscribe at earhustlesq.com/plus or in the Apple Podcasts app.
And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, The Lowdown, at earhustlesq.com/newsletter.
And while you're at it, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That's a big help for the show, and we appreciate you for it.
Ear Hustle is a proud member of Radiotopia from PRX, a network of independent, creator-owned, listener-supported podcasts.
Discover audio with vision at radiotopia.fm.
I'm Nigel Poor.
And I'm Erlon Woods. Thanks for listening
listening
this whole season.
We're going to miss you all. Bye.
I'll see them on social.
Definitely on social.
Radiotopia from